This is Loki, episode 4.
The Nexus Event.
My name is Michael, and my pronouns are he, him.
Disclaimer. Loki is rated TV-14 and may contain some flashing light sequences or patterns that may affect photosensitive viewers. There may be strong language and references to drugs, violence, or other graphic and suggestive themes. This is not a substitute for watching the actual show. There will be spoilers, as I'm assuming you've already watched the show.
As a reminder, here are the rules to my little game.
The name of the episode is said. Loki mentions he is a god. Loki does his arms out pose. Loki does a hair flip. The timekeepers are referred to as lizards. Miss Minutes appears or explains something. The end of the credits are different. A darkest timeline is referenced. Something at the end of the credits. Owen says his signature line, wow.
Reactions.
The doors slide open, revealing a room wreathed in mist.
Michael's eyes open wide in surprise.
Ravonna steps nervously into the haze. In the darkness, a glowing shape on the far wall silhouettes a trio of hovering figures, one seated above and behind the others.
Ominous. I mean...
Look, I know there's protocol, but she could have information.
She's dead. Mobius.
Michael's eyes open wide in surprise.
What? How?
Ravonna glances down the hallway.
The universe wants to break free, so it manifests chaos.
He waves his hands as if he has magical powers.
This is chaos magic, Wanda.
That's pure chaos. That could break reality. It's breaking my reality right now.
Her fingers move gently around orbs in her hands as various symbols glow dimly around her.
A bad memory prison? How quaint.
Sif grabs him by the shoulders and knees him in the groin.
Michael's eyes open wide in surprise again.
Sif grabs him by the shoulders and knees him in the groin before punching him to the ground.
Michael smiles.
Sif nods begrudgingly and puts her hands on his shoulders.
Okay, good.
She needs him in the groin.
She knees him and socks him to the ground.
Pathetic.
Fine. You want the truth?
He nods.
Truth.
He gestures air quotes.
Roll time.
Always.
Michael mouths always as Ravonna says it.
Back in.
Shut up! Do you really think you deserve to be alone? Loki!
You told me to shut up.
He silently chuckles.
So I just have to trust the word of two Lokis?
Well, Loki and Sylvie.
Prune him.
Michael's mouth opens wide in shock.
Mobius, who winces as he disintegrates into a shower of sparks.
His hand reaches from off screen and closes his mouth.
What is it?
He gazes at her vulnerably. A glowing spot appears on his chest, and sparks fly as it grows, a baton pressed to his back. Loki disintegrates, leaving Ravonna with the baton pointed at Sylvie.
I don't have a whole lot I really want to say. I was just kind of watching it to absorb everything. Obviously, I'm going to have to watch it a few more times, but I've just kind of... But my mentality is more along the lines of, I'm just going to go with it. Yes, I'm going to question some things, but I'm here for the ride.
Normalize.
Eyeing the timeline, B-15 shifts agitatedly.
So I guess it makes sense that the timeline would have fixed itself after Sylvie had bombed it.
At the TVA, the monitor displaying the sacred timeline shows several branches rapidly forming.
Because those reset charges would have probably caused the initial spikes, but since they were resetting to probably back to what it actually was, it would normalize itself again.
The Lorax.
Why do you look like the Lorax? So I thought this timekeeper looked a lot like the Lorax because of their orange skin and the yellow mustache. So I guess instead of speaking for the trees, they're speaking for time. But I guess technically, since the sacred timeline has branches, it's kind of like a tree.
In Ravonna's office, she watches the branching timeline with a horrified expression.
So... yes?
He shrugs with an inquisitive look on his face.
The Loki place.
So I was having this conversation with my friend David about how Loki could be Tahani, Sylvie could be Eleanor, Mobius would be Michael, and Casey would be Pillboy, which he was, or in this case, the closest adjacent would be Jason. Adjacent.
Michael smiles.
So I can just imagine Sylvie at some point being in the TVA yelling,
"This is the bad place."
Because the TVA is a bad place. So when Loki was pruned, did he end up in a Loki place?
He shrugs with an inquisitive look on his face again.
This is hell.
Loki straightens before a destroyed city.
Game.
The name of the episode is said.
Nexus Event.
The Nexus Event. The Nexus Event. The Nexus Event.
A Nexus Event.
I counted 3 actual times and 2 mentions for a total of 5 things.
Loki mentions he is a god.
Like me being born the goddess of mischief.
The god of self-sabotage, huh? The god of backstabbing.
I counted 3 things.
Loki does a hair flip.
A nice hot bath.
Chiz.
Pathetic worm.
Each take
I counted 7 things.
The end of the credits are different.
a flyer inside a locker features the word Hunters, and various file photos show Loki and Sylvie.
I counted 2 things.
Something at the end of the credits.
He finds a bearded black man, a slender older guy in Loki horns, and a boy holding an alligator wearing similar horns.
I counted 1 thing.
Those were all the things that I counted. Did I miss anything? If so, leave a comment below and leave whatever your totals were. I will see you next week for the penultimate episode of Loki. See ya!